welcome to McD Literature Made Simple. It's a lively day today, and I want to take you through a motivational poem. In our last lesson, I promised to discuss the themes and probably other literary concepts in the poem Invictus. But when I woke up this morning and I was reading, I came across this poem actually shared by a brother of mine on Facebook. And I realized it's a very nice poem that needed attention. So I decided to discuss it with you or for you this morning, early hours of the morning. So as we always do, I will first read the entire poem, then I will start the stanza by stanza analysis. The next time I will do some devices and other parts of the analysis as we have always done in previous classes. So without wasting my time, and as we always do, instead of my face, you have the poem on the screen. This will serve as a good guide whilst I read and analyze. So let's do the reading together. When things go wrong, as they sometimes will, wow. When the road you are trudging seems all uphill, when the funds are low and the debts are high, and you want to smile, but you have to sigh. When care is pressing you down a bit, rest if you must, but don't you quit. Life is strange with its twists and turns, as every one of us sometimes learns, and many a failure comes about when we might have won had we stuck it out. Don't give up though the pace seems slow. You may succeed with another blow. Success is failure turned inside out, the silver tint of the clouds of doubt, and you never can tell just how close you are. It may be near when it seems too far. So stick to the fight when you are harder hit. It's when things seem worse that you must not quit. Basically, this is a motivational poem that sets out to encourage you. Edgar Guest decided to write a poem like this to motivate, to encourage people to understand that they should never give up. As they say, life is a roller coaster. It comes with ups and downs. Low times are there and high times are there. When things are low, you shouldn't give up. So as we've always done, I'm going to do a stanza by stanza analysis. But just understand that one, this is a motivational poem that is about perseverance during hardship, perseverance during times of difficulties. It encourages you and I, who are the readers, not to give up while life becomes difficult, uncertain, challenging, disappointing. So, though some sources things may not be so well for us, you must understand that that is what defines life. It's in four stanzas, but what you have on your screen has been cut into three. Still a complete poem. So delving straight in, let's look at stanza one. So the first stanza actually begins by describing something that is ordinary when things go wrong as they sometimes will, something that is ordinary but painful, difficult, things going wrong, the road seeming uphill, difficulties, money being very low, debt being high, emotionally you are being weighed down. So this acknowledgement by the persona poet or the speaker that life can become very hard in many ways either externally or internally. And when we say external, we mean problems like financial struggles and other difficulties. And the internal one, we are talking about emotional exhaustations, sadness, and other things. You mentioned something that is very, very important. The key to all this is you must rest if necessary, or you can rest if necessary, but do not quit, do not give up. Always try to persevere, and that's very important. So you should note that. Two, now I'm looking at stanza 2 of the poem now. I'll look at other devices later. So stanza 2 says that there is an argument being developed in the stanza 2. So first, the problems like problems that life can peg you with, the emotional and the practical ones, or the internal and the external ones. The poet, he says in stanza 2 that life is strange when it with each twist and turn, and as every one of us sometimes learn. Failure is sometimes not the final failure. It is part of the process. Slow progress is better than no progress. Someone sang a song and said, slow motion is better than no motion. This particular stance actually challenges the assumption that because I am not succeeding now, I will never succeed. No. He said, and I quote, don't give up though the pace seems slow. You may succeed with another blow. So if this approach isn't working for you, you should adopt another approach. But don't give up. And this is a very important psychological point because sometimes people often quit not because they feel success is impossible, but because they cannot see how close they are to it. That's why the poet or the persona poem, poet or the persona is advising we readers to be careful about making permanent decisions during temporary discouragement. During times of temporal difficulty, do not make permanent decisions. Don't quit just because things are hard today. You may be very close. When I'm looking at the devices, you understand better. All right. So the third stanza focuses on people who give up just before victory. So it's like continuation or completion of stanza 1. It suggests that the goal may be nearer than the struggling person realizes. You may be closer than you seems or than it seems. And you never can tell just how close you are. You cannot predict how close you are. And this brings to mind a reel I watched where two people were digging for diamonds or precious minerals. They dug to a point and one got one big diamond and rejoiced and left. The other one kept digging, hoping to also get one at least. He dug for a long time but never got any. And when he was closest, maybe one or two strokes to get more than 10 of such minerals, he gave up. So this stanza actually intensifies the poet's warning from stanza 2. The poet is not only saying that we shouldn't quit too soon, but he's saying that We should not quit at the most tragic moment, because success might be almost within our reach. The entire stanza is built around the idea of limited human perceptions. I take that again. The entire stanza 3 is built around the idea of limited human perceptions. People get tired, people get discouraged, people get overwhelmed. They cannot always judge situations accurately. Limited human perception. As humans, we are unable to predict situations accurately, or I'll prefer to hedge over here by saying that most humans lack the ability to perfectly predict situations or to accurately predict situations. As a result, we tend to quit when maybe or sometimes we are closest to success. When people are tired, they quit. Maybe that is the moment where they are closest to their success. A person might feel far from success, but feelings are not always reliable evidence. Feelings are not always tangible. Therefore, your feeling might be wrong. Now, one key thing or another key thing that is stated in the final stanza again is that regret is painful. When you give up and you learn too late how close you were, the pain of quitting may become another pain for you, or you may become regretful. You may regret losing an opportunity. So basically, this poem teaches quite a number of lessons. So let me take this. Failure or success might be closely connected. So listen to what a persona poet or speaker said here. He said, success is failure turned inside out. So there's a connection between success and failure. This is success. When you turn it inside out, you get failure. This is failure. When you turn it inside out, you get success. Therefore, you should keep fighting when things are hard. You should never give up, because you will succeed when you continue pursuing. Bear in mind, he is not in any way suggesting that everyone will go get it that way. Some people may fail and fail and fail and fail till they die. But normally, this is the advice. Don't quit. It's a poem that teaches that hardship is not proof of failure. Slow progress is still progress, and discouragement can distort your judgment. So the central theme, the central lesson that you should pick from this poem is that rest when it becomes necessary, but never quit. Don't abandon your dreams. Don't abandon your hopes, or you might be closer to success than you can ever think of. Have a great day. See you in the next class tomorrow.